topic, and our students will be sensitized, motivated to listen you, sir, and they will get your blessings to join Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. They will be inspired by you, sir, how to enter in the campus of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. One of my students presently doing MTech from here is Mr.
Which department? Which department?
One of my students, just I am not remembering my name, his name, sir. So now I am introducing formally Dr. N.C. Shiv Prakash. He is Professor of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and he did his PhD in physics from Mysore University in 1982, and MSc Physics from Mysore University, BSc from Mysore University, and he was started his career from the Mysore University as a lecturer in 1982, and he was Senior Research Fellow of UGC, and he was also Junior Research Fellow of CSIR India. And Dr. Shiv Prakash has written innumerable papers in national and international journals. He has delivered lecture in many discourse organized at national level as well as international level. And he is Professor of Instrumentation Engineering presently at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. But he is very good human being, and he is also very concerned about the upliftment of technical education in Bihar. And with all these notes, I request my students and my colleague to give him applause clapping in his welcome.
Thank you, Professor Nirmalji. Thank you.
Now I am formally inviting you to bless our students and teachers, sir, how to prepare ourselves in this pandemic situations, how to capture knowledge, how to develop, how to acquire skills in these pandemic situations, and how to develop right kind of attitude. All these components are the component is the component of outcome-based educations, and we should develop a right kind of attitude to capture knowledge and skills. And this theme will be probably related with developing a right kind of attitude and how to meet the challenges in these pandemic situations in capturing knowledge. And there is a repertoire of knowledge available in our smartphone. Repertoire, samudra hai, mahasamudra, knowledge ka, and how to retrieve all these knowledge, useful knowledge, which is useful for us. And my students will be motivated, sensitized, and you are here to help them to come up with all these notes, sir. I am inviting you to deliver your lecture, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Nirmalji. I'm very, very happy to see you. You moved from Gaya to Bhagalpur. So I'm sure, Professor Nirmal is one whom I have seen in India, has got lot of energy, lot of enthusiasm. He's a person who works for 24/7. I still remember if I send a mail, WhatsApp at 10:30 p.m., a reply will come. So such a wonderful person, wonderful personality. And I think the Bhagalpur is the, I must say, luckiest institution to get Professor Nirmal Kumar. I worked very closely with him, and I have seen in my own eyes how much he has contributed in uplifting the previous institution where he was a principal, Gaya Engineering College. So such a wonderful person, Professor Nirmalji. I'm very. So thank you so much for your kind introduction, and now I am very happy. And first, at the outset, I would like to thank Professor Nirmal Kumar for giving me this opportunity to. Can you hear me? All of you, can you hear? One of you can respond, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Yes,
that is
sir.
important. Otherwise, people should not go to sleep mode like computer after lunch. So
No, sir.
with this brief, yeah. So such a wonderful person that you have. I'm sure that Bhagalpur also will get benefited, and I have a lot of faith in Professor Nirmal Kumar. So as all of you know, September is a very important month. 5th September, all of you must have celebrated Teachers' Day. So I would like to wish all the teachers a very happy belated Teachers' Day. And again, the September is an important month for one more thing. All of you know, 15th is where Sir M. Visheshwaraya born, and we celebrate as Engineers' Day. So I'm sure that these two important dates, you must have celebrated something in terms of lectures or something. So let us all remember engineers, ice type, and do move on. So just give me half a minute. I will share my file so that we move on. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll go to full mode so that all of you can see clearly. Okay. So today, I've chosen this challenges in good learning and assessment because all of you know we had a pandemic and we are continuing to be in the pandemic for some more months. So therefore, we need to change. So therefore, let me begin with what are the roles of a teacher. Because I am addressing to all the young teachers of the Bhagalpur institution. So teaching is a primary job. That's the foremost thing that all of us should do. But today the demand is, in addition to teaching, we should take up research. We should mentor our student, especially in the COVID. And always I say teacher is a reformer. He is the one who can reform the society. The only person in the society who makes engineers, who makes doctor, who make lawyers, who make everybody. So therefore, teacher is a very noble profession. And teacher is a friend. Teacher is a philosopher. And teacher is a guide. So that is, I think, the great quality of a teacher. According to me, a teacher should have three qualities. One is humor, humility, and humanism. All of you, Gandhi himself said, Mahatma Gandhi, but for my humor, I would have got suicide long ago. So keep smiling and make others smile. That is important. Humility. Humility is giving credit to others. One of the chemists, Lipig, wanted to invent iodine. It seems somebody else invented before him and he gave all the credit to him, and the bottle in which he was trying to find an iodine, he wrote it as chlorine and kept it in his almirah. So that is the kind of a humility that all of us should have. The next one is humanism. All of us, should give whatever, humanism is very, very important. We should try to take care of our student in this pandemic. So as a teacher, every one of us should individually, department-wise, as a college, we should have benchmark. This is what I want to achieve. That is very, very important. So therefore, how do? We have to work as a team. We have to think differently. That is important. So always I fond of stories. So with the permission of all of you, I will tell a little story for a minute. All of you know Aristotle, Newton, Heisenberg, and Einstein and Pauli. All of them are a great scientist. They were all invited to Bhagalpur College. It's a virtual story, not that they are living now. So there was a conference in Bhagalpur College. They all attended the conference. At the end of the day, they all walking around before the dinner. And one of the journalists in the Bhagalpur caught him, and interestingly, he saw a chicken was crossing the road. Of course, in India, everything crosses everywhere. including highways. So he asked the question, simple question to Aristotle: why chicken is crossing the road? Aristotle said that is the nature of the chicken. His research is all about understanding the nature, so he answered that way. Then came the turn of Newton. Newton said, if chicken is at rest, it will be at rest. If chicken is moving with velocity, then he derived his F equal to ma. So the beauty of the story is, the question though is same, all of them are thinking differently. Then came the turn of Einstein. Einstein said, I don't know whether chicken has crossed the road or road cross beneath the chicken, depends on frame of reference. Fixed frame, moving frame, theory of relativity. The next man was a quantum physicist, Heisenberg. So Heisenberg said, chicken was moving with a very high velocity I could not measure accurately. According to uncertainty principle, no two parameters can be measured accurately. Lastly, Pauli, a great chemist who got a Nobel Prize, he said, who told you that chicken has crossed the road? There is already a chicken on the other side. All of us know little chemistry in high school. No two electrons can occupy the same energy state. So this is the beauty of these scientists. We should all now think differently. So our role models are great. The role model whom I have is Einstein. I will tell you, he was a teacher. He gave a question paper. And at the end of there was a question for 10 marks. Valuation is over. The question answer books were distributed. One of the students got 0 for 10 marks. He went to Einstein and asked him, sir, I wrote the correct answer and you gave me 0. What is the correct answer? Now the question was repeated from last year. I took my senior notes, I repeated, and makika maki whatever he wrote. Last year you gave him 10 marks. Now the same question, I am answered the same way. Why are you giving 0? Einstein said, what you say is true, but the science has grown last 1 year. The answer to the question, what your senior wrote, is different today. Therefore, I am giving you 0. This is the rate with which science is moving, technologies are moving. So this is the beauty of so therefore, all of us should take care of it. So today, my presentation will have the following. Science, engineering, technology. I'll spend about a minute or two. COVID lockdown 4.0, all of you know about it. And COVID unlock 4.0 also has happened. And why that 4.0 is interesting is, today's education is 4.0. I'll spend a minute or two about that. And industry also has gone from industry 1.0 to industry 4.0. So therefore, what is that? Let us understand in a minute or two. And good learning. Today, I am going to tell you the learning methods will change. Technologies have come. Teaching is online. Lab is conducting is online. So virtual lab, online examination, what are the technology? I am going to speak to all of you. So therefore, one of the Nobel laureate came to IISc Bangalore, and in the beginning of the lecture, he told that my talk consists of 3 parts. He's a biologist. He told, first part, all of you understand. Second part, some of you understand. Third part, none of you understand, because it becomes so technical. But today I will assure you that whatever I speak, every one of you understand. I will go to that. I will promise you. So as I said, all of you know who the scientists are, who the engineers are, who the technologists are. So therefore, all of them are important, whether you are a scientist or an engineer or a technologist. So the example that you can think of is a car. Car will not come onto the road unless you understand the basic science behind braking system, air conditioning, and so on. The engineers then they will design, and finally technologists will bring the car onto the road. So all the 3 of them are important. But why I'm showing this, people generally say scientists won't read and engineers won't write. But teachers have to read and have to write. Without that, we cannot become good teachers. So COVID means what? My definition of COVID is following. COVID is nothing but create opportunity for victory in disaster. That is what we have to do. COVID, I can't do this, I can't go there, I cannot. I think COVID is going on, the virus is going to be with us. like any other virus. I think we should move forward. All of you are very familiar with two words, BC and AC, before Christ and after Christ in our calendar. But today I am changing the definition: before Corona and after Corona. So before March, we had one way of teaching. Now today, after Corona, all of you agree with me that method of teaching has changed. So as I promised, what is Education 4.0? I will tell you in a minute. About 40 years ago, only lecturing was going on, lecturing, memorization. That is the way teacher-centric. And therefore, that era was called Education 1.0. Later, as all of you know, in 90s, internet came into being and internet-enabled learning started. So this internet-enabled learning, open source, is Forums Education 2.0. And in the Education 3.0, the knowledge, all of us know the education should lead to knowledge. So therefore, knowledge producing education forms Education 3.0. Now today, in education, in addition to the knowledge, we want the education to be innovation producing education. So today, Education 4.0 demands from every teacher that we should be innovative in teaching, in conducting lab, in seminar, in internship, or in research, whatever the activity that we do. In the same line, the industry also has grown from industry 1.0 to industry 4.0. As all of you know, 18th century, industrial revolution 1.0, we introduced the mechanical production where machines were basically powered by either water or steam. Later, after Second World War, industry 2.0, the mass production, the industrial revolution, mass production has started. Later, in the third stage of industry, because of electronics and IT, the autonomous production started. Automatic things have started becoming automatic. But today, as all of you know, in Industry 4.0, we are call it as cyber physical system. So that is where we are. So therefore, all of them are Internet of Things. Last 5 minutes, I am going to spend on you about technologies. What is that we can do about? Just a minute, because all of you are aware, AICT says that there should be an induction program for both student and faculty. So induction is where you learn how to teach, how to do, and induction for student is what an engineer should be. So revision of curriculum is important, as all of you know, extremely important. Training of faculty. Swayam platform is there. I'm sure that many of you must be learning through Swayam. Mandatory internship for student is extremely important, otherwise they will not become engineers. I would even say teachers should go once a year, 1 week into some industry, learn whatever they like in their domain and start giving good projects to students. Industry readiness is important. The examination, as all of you know, is going to change, online exam and so on. And promoting innovation and startup, last 5 minutes I will talk, which is extremely important in today's context, and mandatory accreditation. Accreditation, is important. As you know, the new education policy is there in place where all the institutions should become next 15 years degree giving. Therefore, accreditation becomes important. Only of accreditation we can become autonomous. So to do all these things, always I say good start is important. So in Olympic, even if you delay 0.001 second, you lose your medal. So therefore, a good start for this pandemic, after pandemic, is extremely important. All of us know Sir C.V. Raman. He was the first Asian to have got the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930s. So he said those days, students of today are being taught by teachers of yesterday with curriculum which is of day before yesterday. I'm sure that all of you agree with me, we cannot be doing this. We have to teach what is today. You cannot be, what is tomorrow, you should teach today. That is how we should be. So now, today, as I'm concentrating on learning, let us try and understand what is the meaning of learning? How does it, learning should lead to retention. Retention is extremely important. So one of the research says, if you want to retain whatever you learn. The lecture will, what you give, gives you 5% of retention. So therefore, when you talk in the class, it's only a 5% that gets into the student. So therefore, students should go and read. Then only another 5%, 10% will be acquired. Later, audio visual, demonstration, group discussion, practice by doing. That is where engineering is. Teachers and others will finally, whatever we learn, passive to active, student engagement will make the student to learn and retain whatever they. So therefore, now our, as a teachers of engineering program, we, all of us have been following outcome-based education. Since all of you are following this, I will not spend much time, only 5-10 minutes, just to put you in the perspective. Outcome-based education is all about student-centric, learner-centric. So before that, let me say what an engineer is. According to me, engineering is for learning, which is very important. The theory, whatever we do, they learn. But engineering is more for doing, practice, hands-on. They should learn the tools. They should learn the design. They should know how to analyze. They are important. And the engineering, after that, they should be very proud, self-esteem. That is, engineering is for living. And lastly, engineering is for society. Something we should do for society as engineers. So therefore, outcome-based education will not happen unless you have some vision. Bhagalpur College has got a vision. India has got a vision. ISRO has got a vision. As all of you know, it's a great country. ISRO, they have sent 104 satellites, of which 96 happen to be from USA. And Mars, we have gone. And therefore, we are a nuclear club and space club. So therefore, a vision is important. I'm sure that the Bhagalpur College of Engineering has a vision, and mission also is there. How to achieve the vision is through mission. And if you want to do, college has got different programs: civil, mechanical, electrical, computer, and so on. Therefore, each program should have educational objective, that is called PEOs. And these are all, vision is a broadest statement, vision is a broader statement, PEOs are broad statements. So therefore, they are not measurable directly. So you should go to outcome. Course, the program outcome. So as all of you know, they are also called graduate attributes. So there are 12 graduate attributes in BA Asset, which I will show you in the next slide. And each program should have program specific outcome. And again, you go further down, each course that one teaches, theory, practical, internship, project, you should write down the course outcome. Each one is called a course, therefore, course outcome. So therefore, in a nutshell, outcome-based education, if you want to reach a vision, you need to do right from CO to PSO to PO to PO to finish. So therefore, I will not spend as I promised. I will just only list. As you can see from this slide, there are 5 important graduate attributes all graduates should acquire. They are in red. What are they? Engineering knowledge, problem analysis, design and development, investigation of problem, and modern tools. Now all of you know as a teacher, these 5 graduates have to acquire, otherwise they cannot be called as engineers. And in addition to these, the other 7, which are not as correlated as the first 5 are also important. What are they? Engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, project management, lifelong learning. So anything that we do, either through curricula, co-curricular, extracurricular, our student at the end of the 4 years, even beyond lifelong learning, we should prepare them as engineers. So now let me come back to my main topic, learning. So how do we enhance the learning? You can see there is a triangle in which there are 3 corners. The first corner is about instructional strategies. Every hour that you go in a class, how do I do it? You have to have a strategy, the class that you take. So that is very important in learning. The second one is, if you teach, that is not enough, assessment. How do I know the learner has learned? So therefore, there should be an assessment. Now, this assessment will lead to what we call it as outcome. So therefore, these 3 are very important in one's learning. So what is learning? After all, learning is nothing but acquiring new knowledge, behavior, new skill, new values, and new understanding. This is what we call it as learning. Then what is good learning? Good learning is that takes place when learners are clear about what they should be to do, they are able to do at the end of unit, at the end of the class, at the end of the unit, at the end of the semester, at the end of 4 years. That is what we call as outcome. That is important in the good learning. So as I told you in the previous slide, this strategy you have to have, then assessment, and finally the last word says there should be a fair alignment between the instruction, assessment, and outcome. Now let us try and understand what is the meaning of outcome. An outcome is what learner will be able to do or perform as a result of some experience. So therefore, the learning takes place in 3 domains. Now, one of the greatest person, all of you know, a Bloom, now we call Bloom taxonomy, a Benjamin Bloom in 1955, it is a lot of research, said learning takes place in 3 domains. What are they? Cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor. And all of you by now know that engineering is all learned through cognitive method. Again, in cognitive method, the Bloom said the learning takes place in 6 levels. All of you are very familiar with this. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. So therefore, while we are teaching from 1st semester to 8th semester, we have to make students very clear about the concept. This concept, let us say for example, the first law of thermodynamics, they have to remember. So therefore, it is called the first Bloom level remembering. Then it is not enough if they remember. Whatever they remember, they should be able to explain this concept and idea. That happens in the Bloom second level called understanding. So having remembered and understand in engineering, one need to apply to the new situation. So therefore, the third level of Bloom, which is going upward, is apply. So that is not the end of the road. After applying, you have to connect some ideas and analyze them. So that is what breaking down into information into a component and analyze. That is the 4th level of Bloom. The 5th level of Bloom is to justify a stand or a decision. You have to evaluate and say, my design is correct, my analysis is correct, my problem solving is correct. That is what happens in the 5th level. And 6th level is combining the parts to make the whole in a project, for instance, a new idea, a original work, publishable, presentable, they are all in it. So let me tell you at this stage, wherever I go, yes, please. Please kindly mute all my dear friends. So therefore, whenever I go, the teacher thinks I have 6 units. First unit I write Bloom level 1. Second unit I write Bloom 2. Unit 6 Bloom. That's not correct. The subject that you teach in the higher semester will have higher Bloom. The lower semester, I will illustrate this with 1 or 2 examples. Then it will be more clear to you. So therefore, what I try to say you is in OBE in a course, this Bloom taxonomy plays a major role. So therefore, learning should promote something. When do we say the learning is achieved? The learners are engaged in a session in the real world, and existing knowledge is activated with the foundation of new knowledge. So the learning should lead to some new knowledge, and that's not the end of the road. The new knowledge is demonstrated. That is what engineering. Whatever the concept that we have should be demonstrated. And again, this new knowledge should be applied by the learner. And finally, the new knowledge is, in the real world. Always we say case studies. Anything that we teach in engineering, we must tell them where the application is. That is important. So now I will try to give you.
Sir.
Yes,
Sorry
please.
to disturb, sir. Yes, this time
Is all right?
is going on. We need to rejoin the meeting, sir, again.
Huh? Okay.
So I request all participants to rejoin the meeting with the same link.
I also should do, I should come
Fine,
out.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Or the moment it comes out, all of you join back. Okay, that's a ET break. Now is all E. It's a virtual world. No T will be